Yo, 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 welcome to Hard Pass. I am your host, Jacques Slade. Today on the show, we've got LUKA's newest signature shoe, Stephon Marbury bringing back Starbury, the Nike Book One getting a makeover for the better, honestly, and this week's hottest releases. Of course, we also have our Hard Pass. All right, so let's start the show with some hot takes. After a minor bump in the road, my 17-time world champion and one-time NBA Cup champion, Los Angeles Lakers have regained some form and gotten back to winning yet again. It won't be easy as LeBron James continues to recover from a groin injury, but then again, that's why we have, Luka Doncic. You know what? It still feels a little shocking every time I say that. Anyways, a few weeks ago, when the Lakers played Luka's former team, Jordan Brand capitalized on the situation and dropped a new ad treating the Dallas Mavericks like they were an old flame that Luka had moved on from. Oh, and they also debuted the Jordan Luka 4 just to drive the point home that this was a new era. Well, we finally got the full reveal this week as the Luka 4 was not only officially unveiled, but the first Jordan Luka takedown model, the Luka .77 or is it .77? They haven't said for sure, which is made for outdoor hooping and is going to be priced at $130 and $100 respectively. These two Luka sneakers are going to do numbers here in Los Angeles, much in the same way that the late Kobe Bryant signature shoes and various takedown models used to do during Mamba's playing days. Now, this is not a knock on LeBron, but just like how there are some Laker fans who still won't accept LeBron as one of our own, his signature shoe line hasn't had the same resonance here that it maybe does in Cleveland or maybe in Miami. I would guess that a large part of it has to do with LeBron's being priced around the $200 range, but that doesn't explain why I don't see a lot of kids wearing his takedown NXXT Gen sneakers either. With Luka becoming a Laker a lot younger than LeBron and his sneakers being way cheaper, this lane is theirs for the taking. Hey, if you're one of those people who just likes to complain on the internet that everything sells out immediately and that us normies can't get the things that we want, as of this recording, a few days after it released, Undefeated still has several pieces from the Nike Kobe 6 Dodgers collection available online. Let's see. The gloves are still available in a bunch of sizes. The sliding mitt, which is a thing that I didn't know was a thing, they're still available. And the catcher set is right there for $800. Damn. No wonder it's not sold out. But that still don't stop people from blaming Vanessa Bryant for stifling them and not making these available for everybody. Well, they're available now and you can buy them. The shoes will drop later this year, and if recent availability of Kobe Protros are anything to go by, I think you'll be fine. Don't let the internet fool you into thinking you just can't go to a Nike store or a Foot Locker and buy a Year of the Snake Kobe 5 because you can. So Vic Almighty hooked up Devin Booker with a sneaker that I think has some real potential. Seeing as Booker lives in Arizona and appears to love the outdoors, Vic took a pair of Book Ones and swapped the tooling for that of the Nike ACG Izzy and converted the basketball sneakers into something ready-made for the trail. It's such a simple idea that low-key makes that popular colorway of the Book One better than the standard retail version that you can buy right now. Vic makes a great point that because Booker and Nike can come up with pretty much any colorway that they want, he had to do something else to stand out in this era of fans going above and beyond to capture the attention of athletes, hence the Soul Swap. But in doing so, I think we need to rethink how signature product can work both on and off the court. It would require a lot more work and would probably be cost prohibitive for both Nike and the consumer, but maybe Booker could be the test balloon where he has a Book 2 or a Book 3 that has an on-court model and an off-court one with different types of midsoles. It's like how Co-Writer has the hot take that the Air Jordan 2 would be remembered more fondly if it had the tooling of the Air Jordan 3, as evidenced by his reaction to the Jordan 2 3. Anyway, moving on. So Supreme continues to impress the Hard Pass staff with how very little effort they put into their Nike collabs. It's a quarterly exercise, really. We gather around and laugh and admire how Supreme manages to get away with it each time. Like, if I could just be a world-famous sneaker YouTuber and all I had to do was film an unboxing with a cell phone camera running 720p, I'd be set. This time around, Supreme and Nike are releasing 4 colorways of the Air Max 1 in black, white, yellow, and purple. Sadly, this is not a Lakers wait, shouldn't I be thankful the Lakers are not involved? Anyways, beyond the usual Supreme branding, the only other defining feature appears to be the world-famous stitched on the heel. Bravo, Supreme. Bravo for giving no more than one on this project. Look, I didn't think anything could top your infamous Air Force One collab that just places the logo on the side along with Supreme laces, and yet, here we are. Keeping it in the Air Max news side of things, there was a shock drop of sorts when Blue Room, a vintage shop in Japan, announced out of nowhere that the neon Nike Air Max 95 OG with the big bubble was available in store. The sneakers weren't expected to drop until the summertime, so to get it this early was quite a surprise. Naturally, they sold out moments after they announced they had the sneakers, but the hype cycle has begun for the big bubbles. With Nike finally doing right by these retros and releasing them as close to original form as they possibly can, it bodes well for the future of these iconic silhouettes. It also goes to show you that Nike knows that they can't keep playing with fans' expectations as much as they used to when they would drop retros with not insignificant tweaks and alterations. With Nike doing what they can to recapture the market and mindshare that they had not so long ago, this can only mean good things for us sneakerheads, except for everything being overpriced. But that actually segues nicely into our next story. Stephon Marbury. He's bringing back Starbury. In a piece on Complex Sneakers, Matt Welty spoke to Marbury about the return of the budget sneaker brand that made headlines nearly 20 years ago for the price of $15 a pair. While a return date wasn't formally announced, Marbury has his eyes set for next summer and beyond. I'll be honest, the announcement caught me off guard for a second because I thought we had done this already, and sure enough, a quick search on the internet showed us that yeah, Marbury did try to bring back Starbury in 2015. I knew I wasn't just like imagining that in my head. And yeah, I think if there was ever a time for Starbury to come back, it would be now. Well, a better comeback attempt would have been a year or two ago with the tariffs potentially looming and whatnot. Anyways, real life bullshit aside, a budget-conscious Starbury revival could have huge potential. With the recent popularity of sneakers like the Adidas Samba and the New Balance 550, the market is showing that sneakerheads of both the hardcore and casual variety are not chasing the premium ticket items like they used to. Jordan Retros are sitting, and Nike's various signature lines appear to be taking up space at Foot Lockers before they go on clearance. Hell, if Fila could cause a wave several years ago with their chunky dad shoes, why couldn't Starbury do the same at a price point that kids and parents can agree on? I don't know that $15 is feasible in this day and age, but if we saw Starbury hooping shoes for $30 to $40 and lifestyle shoes in the same range, and they look good and more importantly feel good enough, there's an entire generation of parents now who grew up watching Starbury and witnessing his life story from the ups and downs to his redemption halfway across the globe. That could be something they latch onto as they consider picking up a pair of sneakers. And one thing Marbury said I thought was interesting was, we're in a new era of athletes. I think we're also in a new era of fandom as well, where fans follow their heroes wherever they go, and it's not just teams that are being left behind. It might be sneaker brands as well. It might be something we discuss on our podcast, Too Hard to Pass. Check us out every Tuesday at 2 p.m. right here on this channel. Pick of the week is the Ama Maniere Air Jordan 3 for the Love. This is going to be on March 29th for $225. From afar, they look like the unreleased fragment Air Jordan 3 samples that Hiroshi Fujiwara teased years ago, but no, these are a retail pair that's in collaboration with James Whitner's Ama Maniere brand that has released some of the most popular and at times divisive collabs of the past few years. I'm not sure which bucket the threes will fall in, but as a fan of threes, I will always want a pair of threes that keep it simple with a premium touch to it. So yeah, sign me up for these. It's time for this week's Hard Pass, where we take a look at something in the culture that just needs to go, like cheering for John Cena, because right now you shouldn't. You can't. You mustn't, because the GOAT is cooking. All right, it's WrestleMania season, and the hottest angle WWE could ever possibly run is underway. John Cena is a heel for the first time ever during his time as a megastar. No offense to his days as a battle rapper straight out of 8 Mile casting calls, but nobody would call that Prime Cena. And while calling this era Prime Cena it's a bit of a stretch as well. He hasn't been a full-time performer in nearly a decade. He might be as popular, though, as he has ever been. And that's why this was the right time to turn him into a bad guy. Look, before we dig deeper into the Cena bad guy run, we just want to thank a very special WWE superstar and certain member of the board of directors at TKO for making this happen. According to internet rumor and speculation, The Rock once again tried to inject himself into the main event storyline without rhyme or reason, and then pivoted once he got some pushback. Last year, it was supposed to be Rock and Roman Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania 40 before a surge of Cody Rhodes pushed them to change plans. The result was basically Avengers Endgame, but wrestling. This year, The Rock had basically written himself out of the storyline, buddying up with Cody at movie premieres and Netflix debuts, only to double back on that and suddenly become Palpatine to Cody's Anakin, tempting him to the dark side. Much like last year's original plans, Rock as the headliner, it would have been fine if they had told a better story, or at least that made sense leading up to Mania. They skipped so many steps, like how does Roman feel about Rock picking Cody over him? That it just boggles my mind, honestly. But leave it to Cody and the WWE creative team to save the day and pitch a different super babyface to turn. Reportedly, they balked at Rocky's plan to turn Cody heel, so Cena was pitched instead, and in classic, hey, you guys, make your final boss believe they came up with the genius plan all along. We got the magic that was the end of Elimination Chamber. Oh, and a second segue way into the Travis Scott of it all. See, Rocky and Johnny Boy weren't the only ones standing tall at the end of Chamber PLE. Travis Scott was there as well to spread sage, I guess, around the ring like he's Kyrie Irving. Yeah, sage. And that's what that was. Oh, and to get a little physical and whacking Cody with a shot in the face that left him with a black eye for realsies. That probably wasn't part of the plan, but the visual of Cody with a black eye, courtesy of Travis Scott, means that a receipt is on the way, and it's going to be hilarious. But in a story in real life. Not that I think Cody would take liberties and hurt Travis, but a get back is on the horizon, and it's going to be interesting to see what Travis's reaction is going to be when it happens. Anyway, back to Cena. Look, Kowalter was one of those people who didn't really have a problem with Cena never becoming a storyline bad guy during his prime. In his eyes, John already was a bad guy because he was booed by half the crowd while he was doing all his good guy things, like always winning feuds and granting make-a-wishes to countless kids who want to believe in hustle, loyalty, and respect. It could have been written better, a function of the previous creative regime, but Cena being a good guy that half the audience could see right through was an infinitely more interesting choice. It actually reminds Kowalter of what he thinks would be the best version of Superman, a Hall of Fame good guy who takes time out of his day to be an enormous a-hole to Batman and only Batman. In this case, Cena is Superman, something he's been colloquially called in the past, and the fans who can't stand him are Batman. But he digresses. With this being Cena's final year, sadly, we won't actually get to witness an entire Cena heel arc. What we mean by that is everything is going to be on an accelerated timeline. Other super good guys who finally turned heel reveled in being a bad guy for years at a time before turning back to the good side. By the end of December, Cena will be a good guy again because there's no way in hell the WWE's GOAT is going to do a curtain call as a heel. That means the face turn will start sooner than that. So really, we're looking at 4 to 6 months tops of heel Cena. That's really not a lot of time. But if anybody can pull it off, it would be this creative team that's being led by Triple H right now. He delivered at Mania last year. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt that he can navigate this ship that's constantly being messed with by frickin' Rocky. And look, it's also possible that all the rumor and innuendo is just that. Rumor and innuendo. It's in play that all of these leaks and reports are either not verified or being put out there by people at WWE to throw fans off the scent. If there's anything more interesting to a degenerate internet wrestling fan than the actual product on screen, it's the behind-the-scenes shenanigans off screen. And now more than ever, WWE has been doing a great job in messing with the wrestling media. This could be another example of that. It still wouldn't make a lick of sense why Rocky and Cody were BFFs for weeks leading up to the Chamber, but if heel Cena was always the plan, we'll take it. Which leads us to the most important part of the Cena heel turn. We feel here on the show, it's going to come down to the crowds and how they react moving forward. They showered Cena with shocking cries and boos during the heel turn at the Chamber PLE and in his first appearance since the Chamber, the Monday Night Raw crowd in Brussels, and they did right by Cena by booing him like he was the racist dumpster fire Hulk Hogan. However, unlike racist dumpster fire Hulk Hogan, the fans booed Cena out of respect and because they want to see where the story goes, not because they actually actually hate the guy. This feels like everybody playing their part. Cena snapping back at the audience, saying he was in an abusive relationship, declaring there won't be new heel merch or new heel music because they don't deserve it, and the fans responding in kind with hateration. Maybe John didn't have to pick out that one kid with all the Cena Farewell Tour merch who will forever be the wrestling version of the 50 Cent "What'd he say f me for" meme, but that only adds to the act. If the crowds can maintain this energy when they get back stateside, it will be something special. The reason why we say that is because the US fans have a tendency to go into business for themselves and do the opposite of whatever direction the WWE is pushing them towards. Oh, they want us to boo Cena now? Nah, let's ironically cheer for him. That's the stateside. It's happened in the past to other wrestlers, including Cena. So again, the hope is that the fans will play along. So, where do we go from here? Well, if Triple H is feeling really spicy, he has John go full Super Cena and destroy Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 41. The template is already there. Several years ago, Brock Lesnar absolutely mauled Cena in a glorified squash match in the main event of SummerSlam. I could see Trips doing the same, but not at WrestleMania. Feels there might be a Rock-sized plot twist that could absolutely change things, and if the rumors and innuendo are true that Travis Scott could be training to actually wrestle, following in the likes of Bad Bunny and Pat McAfee of celebrities who took the craft seriously, then that's another potential angle they could run. They already have Travis walking around with a shiny version of the WWE Hardcore title. It wouldn't be surprising if Travis helped Cena win and brought back the spinner belt as a throwback and, of course, another belt to sell on the WWE shop. Look, the fact that so many things are up in the air and all of them have the potential to be great, WrestleMania is looking pretty good. And we haven't even talked about the rest of the card. We'll do that as we get closer to April. And that's going to do it for the show. Thank you for watching Hard Pass. I am Jacques Slade. I'll see you next week. If you'd like to leave a message, no more than 30 seconds, leave us a voicemail at 818-493-9325. Leave your socials. Again, no more than 30 seconds. All right, I'll see you next week. Peace.